Hi, this is Faith, and you are watching The Faith Factor. Holla. All right. Hello, everybody. This is Faith, and you are watching The Faith Factor. Let me get my camera together here, y'all. Get my whole life together. All right. So today I got time. Today I got time. And I am going to finish that discussion that I started the other day talking about men are no longer dating to find wives, they're dating to find concubines. And today I got time. Okay. Now, in the previous stream, I remember talking about a group that I was in, the Kevin Samuels group. And in that group, a young lady talked about her dating experience. She talked about how she went on the date with the guy, and the guy was nice. She didn't say that he did anything in particular. He just turned out to not be her type. After getting to know him, I'm guessing she got to know him for the first time really on the date. So the guy went back and he DM'd her, and she pretty much let him know right then and there, because he wanted another date. She said, no, I'm not interested, you're not my type. And so this guy went all off into a tangent. You guys were there before, and he wanted to know, how come you're not my type? Did you just get with me for the money? Were you using me to get a free meal? Yada, yada, yada. And so that opened up a discussion in the group between the men and the women. It was a battle of the sexes. And basically, the men are of the impression that women are not going on these dates and being fair. They feel as if women are going on these dates and basically using them for a free meal. This is the consensus that was in the group, y'all. Okay, so the consensus of the group was that, ladies, they're spending their time, they're spending their money, and they expect to get a return on that investment. So today's show is going to explore that. We're going to talk about why some of these men may feel the way that they feel, even though I feel as if a woman has a right to change her mind. I feel as if a woman can pretty much anybody. I mean, a man has a right to change his mind as well. Like, he could be on the date and think that this woman is not worth it. So I feel as if both parties have a right to walk away from each other. Nobody's married to each other. I don't think a woman owes a man sex because he bought dinner. Okay. So this is something that we really need to explore, because a lot of guys are talking about she got a free meal. And I'm just like, wait a minute, hold on a second. What would make the meal not be free in a lot of you guys' minds? Because I'm hearing all of this and I'm just like, wow. So you men are actually going on these dates to get concubines. You're going on these dates with the thought in your mind that you want to score. You want to see her naked. You want to see her, do something a little strange for that dinner. This is what I'm hearing. So when this guy made the assumption in this young woman's DM that she must have gotten angry with him because he didn't give her money, I think that that was a really, really large leap for a man to be making. How can you sit up here and say that, hey, she didn't give me money, so therefore, this date that we're on is invalid? So let's talk about this for a second, guys, because I want to walk down and I want to take you down on a trip here as to what women are thinking about when we accept the date. And I said this on the last, when we accept the date from you guys, we're well, good women, because I do know that there are some women out here that do, want to, date a guy just to get the free meal. But that's what the first date is for, guys. The first date is for you to kind of weed that sort of thing out so that you don't waste any more of your time. simping or spending money on this woman, as you would call it. If she seems to be uninterested, then that's when you cut her off. But a lot of times you guys are on these dates with these women, and the conversation is not about her or not about yourself. You're not trying to see what type of woman she is, what type of family she comes from. Like, those are questions that a man would be asking on a first date if he's interested in a wife. But what I'm hearing from a lot of these young women is that you guys are going on these dates and you're asking about sex. You're asking about kinky things that she likes to do in the bedroom. You're asking her, what type of what's her favorite color underwear, and different crazy. I've heard all kinds of crazy stuff that young women have come back and told me that they're getting from these men when they're going on these dates with them. So, that may be something that turns a woman off. A good woman, if you're with a woman that's just, for the streets, and she wants to, just give up the cookies because she's, on this free date, you know, I wouldn't call that wife material, but I don't think that a lot of you are going on these dates to find wives. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not going to sugarcoat. I'm not going to lie to you. I think that all of you guys are, not all, but majority of you are going on these dates because you want to get laid and you think this is how you're going to get closer to the woman physically. So you're going to throw a little something out there, and that dinner is the carrot on the stick. And based off the woman, how she is when you meet her, you pretty much decide what type of date, how expensive the date is going to be based off what you feel the woman garners from you, is in that respect. So with all that being said, now, does the woman have an obligation to do anything? The answer is absolutely, emphatically no. Now, the other day, my brother DOD was in my live chat, and he went to his live stream and he kind of clipped my video. Shout out to DOD. I love DOD's content. And basically, he proposed this: a solution to nobody feeling as if, they're being played or being used, is that everybody should go Dutch. And I don't know how I would feel about a man who approaches me, the faith factor, and he wants to go out a date. He's asking me out on a date. Now, mind you how this looks. You are asking me. You approach me to spend time with you. So basically, the person that approached, in my opinion, is the person that has something to prove. But if you approach me and ask me on a date and then expect me to pay, that's telling me that you're not trying to put any effort into this thing. See, when a man approaches a woman and he asks her out on a date, he's trying to put effort into letting that woman know that he really, really is interested in her and getting to know her, and, wanting to show her his world and different things that he can, quote unquote, provide her with. So the first date is very important, because I'm going to be checking out what type of restaurant you're taking me to. I'm going to be checking out what kind of car you drive. I'm going to be checking out how you dress, how you act. So I don't know. I don't know. When you guys are sitting up here talking about going Dutch is the answer, that right there does not make me as a woman feel any type of endearment towards you at all, to want to continue, dating you, because women are looking for providers. We're looking for somebody that can demonstrate your ability to provide. And so that first date is your first demonstration that you even have the means to provide, that you even have the means to be going on dates with women because you can afford to. Now, most men that I hear belly aching, crying, whining about having to take a woman out are broke men. The men that ain't got it like that, men that can't provide like that. So if you're whining and crying about having to pay for a $100 dinner, 150, $200, sometimes $300 dinner, if you're crying about that, that means that you can't afford to date. That means you can't afford a woman. That means that you need to be focusing on anything other than being with anybody. You need to be getting your bread together. That's what that's telling me. If a date is breaking you like that, don't do it. Get your money up and then come back when you're ready. Come back when you can show a woman that on the very first date, this is the world that you're bringing her into. And see, I want you to understand when my guy and I go out on dates, when we went out on our first date, he introduced me into his world. And so what his world looked like was nice, glitzy, shiny, and expensive. And so when he let me into his world and I saw how he's living, I said, yes, I want to be a part of that world. I want to be a part of a world where this man can provide me things like this. So if he can do it on the small level of just this date, then I know that he's going to do it even bigger in the future when I'm his woman. And see, you all are just not seeing the big picture. Now, men, you guys are looking for something totally different. You're looking for a woman that's going to, quote unquote, look good on your arm, okay? And you want a woman that knows how to carry herself with class. You want a woman that, of course, you kind of wonder what she looks like with her clothes off, that's sexy, classy, maybe even make you smile, somebody that you feel can inspire you. So there are different things that you all are looking for, different things. We're looking for what we're looking for, and you're looking for what you're looking for. Now, I'm going to go into a dynamic here that's like further down the road from dating. This is after the woman has pretty much accepted you. And you know that the woman has accepted you because after the first, second, or third date, and we've seen what world you're able to provide to us, and we're accepting of you, then we're going to go somewhere a little bit more private, and we're going to let you have certain liberties with us because you have proven on so many different levels that this is what you're willing to do for me, as your woman. So what kind of level and what kind of world are you introducing a woman to when you go into the date and the first thing that you do is say that you want to go Dutch, you want to go halves with the woman that you allegedly want to take care of and show her the world and spend the rest of your time with? What is that showing her? So basically, if I'm going halves with this man on the first date, I'm going to think as a woman in my mind that this is a going halves type brother if he can't afford the first few dates. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that women should never reciprocate. Definitely there should be some reciprocation. Hey, take him out sometimes. Okay? I don't have any problems with women taking men out and showing men a good time because reciprocation is very important. Hell, let him see what your world looks like. Invite him into your home after you've gotten to know him and you trust him, and cook him up a good meal and show him what he has to look forward to with you as his woman. These are things that, I really shouldn't have to break down to grown people. But after being in that Kevin Samuels group, this is a Kevin Samuels group where I first saw the young lady, and she was talking about the date. And these men in that group, they were just whining and complaining complaining and talking about women not worth this and what you not worth. And how do you know what a person is worth until you go and get to know them? Like, obviously, if you approached her in the first place, there was something about her that you liked. And same thing with the women. Obviously, if you accepted the date in the first place, there was something about him that you like. So all of this, what this person's worth and what this person isn't worth, you have to determine that after getting to know them. So I wanted to also just go down this road because I know a lot of women, when we get into these relationships with these guys, we bring them, we go into their world and we bring them into ours. We don't typically like to reciprocate. And reciprocation for men doesn't have to come in a monetary fashion. Like, if you have a good man and you know you have a good man, there are certain things that this man is looking for from you as his woman, to show him that you appreciate him. Now, if this guy has been good to you, he's taking you out on these wonderful dates, he's planning all these wonderful trips and doing all these wonderful things, he's paying your rent, taking care of you, all of that, right? And he can't even get a thank you out of you. That's a problem, ladies. You have to show appreciation. And yes, giving your body is a form of that. Don't get me wrong. But if you're also, tying that into nagging this man and being like, how can I say, what's the word I'm looking for? Entitled. Like you're entitled to this man doing this. This man does not have to do any of this for you. You are a grown woman. If this man does these things for you, it's because he really, really likes you and he's looking at you as something that could be part of his future. So you could show this man appreciation through respect. And I want to talk about that word respect. Because, see, a lot of times women, we get it twisted. We think that loving him is enough. And I'm telling you that a lot of y'all don't know how to love. Loving the man is not going to be enough if you don't even know how. And I had to learn this. But sometimes, not only just saying thank you, because that's just words, but the same way that I tell women to look at the actions of a man and what he's doing for you and whether or not he's worth your time, the man has to also look at your actions. Are you showing him appreciation? Like, say for instance, if this man come home from a hard day's work, are you coming to the bed with your hair all, messed up, got the bonnet on, and you're not, bothering to, fix yourself up and wear something sexy and enticing and be enticing for that man? Because when he gets home from a long day's work, he's not trying to come home to no bonnet in the bed. And I do understand that, you can't be sexy every night. I'm not saying be sexy every night, but you don't have to look like a mooga booga every night either. There's a way for you to come to bed and still be comfortable and sexy. And switch it up. Every now and then come to bed, get your hair done and put a little makeup on, do your little nails and put the little lace on with the thong and all of that type of stuff. Do things like that for your man. Do things like that to show that man that you are appreciative of what he does. Keep your hair done, keep yourself up. Don't let yourself go. The main thing that a man finds to be the worst and most atrocious thing that you can do to him is to give him a lot of lip. Now, I have this bad, and I had to really, really work within myself, because it's not important to be right all the time, ladies. If your man is making all these sacrifices, and I mean he's holding you down, like if your car If anything goes wrong with it, he's always there making sure that your wheels are spinning, or he will replace those wheels with different wheels. If you don't have money for your rent, that man is always there making sure that your financial obligations are satisfied, that you're not out on the street. If that man is always there to save the day for you, why would you sit up here and give this man lip? And see, that's the problem with a lot of you ladies. Some of y'all don't know when to be quiet. It don't take much. And I had to learn when to shut it. There'll be times when I be with my guy and he'll be pissing me off so bad. But then I gotta remember, lights on, rent's paid, car note is current. And I gotta think, why would I disrespect this man just because I want to be right all the time? Sometimes you got to let go of wanting to be right all the time, because these men, they have egos. They do. And I'm not saying it's right, but if it's a small, minor, tiny thing and you can give it to him, I'm just saying, y'all, if you can give him that one little argument, what is it killing you to just let him have it? And I'm not saying that you be a yes woman. What I'm saying is pick and choose your battles, because one day you may wake up and you're not going to have no man to argue with. And when that happens, if you were used to, if something happened to your car, that man was there to fix it. If you was used to, if you didn't have all the money to pay your bills, that man was there filling in that gap. When he gone, you won't miss your water until the well is dry. That's all I'm saying. So all those little things that, he may even be nitpicking with you. You know, it don't hurt you to say, you know what, baby, you right. You're right. Is that going to hurt you just that one time to give him something? And baby, what do you want for dinner? I'm cooking some steak. I'm thinking about shrimp and mashed potatoes on the side. Just switch it over to something that he like. You know that's his favorite meal. You want to lighten things up. Do something good for that man, because he is definitely always doing something good for you. And I'm not telling you all this, to be a pick Misha and all that type of stuff. I hate that language. I hate the language of women seeing other women doing something good for their man, and now all of a sudden they're pick Misha. The women that I know that have held on to long-term successful relationships, they don't argue over petty shit. Get that through your head. It is not important for you to be right all the time. It's not important for you to win the argument all the time. And so it goes back to that first date where a lot of these men are complaining. I find it whiny, and I know a lot of you do too. But listen to what the men are saying. There are a lot of men checking out of the dating scene because they feel as if they're giving and giving and giving, but they're not getting a return on what they're investing. So there are a lot of you that do use and abuse. There are a lot of you that do go on these dates and you don't have good intentions. And I'm the faith factor. I get a lot of flack for, going full circle with my conversations and trying to find balance. But I cannot admonish one without also reminding the other of what she's doing. Like, no, men should not be expecting sex, especially for no date. But at the same time, if that man put effort, and I'm talking about a man that put effort, not no man that took you to Popeyes and got you the 2-for-1 special. I'm not talking about that man. But if this man put in effort, I'm talking about this man took you to a virtual reality velocity date where you put on that whole goggles with the backpack, and those dates are expensive, by the way. Dates where he's got you flying in a helicopter, those dates are expensive, okay? Dates where you guys are going indoor skydiving, those dates are expensive. If the man put a lot of thought, a lot of time, a lot of money into the date, that man deserves a second look. And see, a lot of times, ladies, we're going by our physical type and we're thinking with the little maidenhead down there, but we're not thinking with the big brain up here. We got to stop, ladies, judging men by swag and, stuff like that. We got to start judging men and looking at how they're moving around us. Check out how he interacts with other people. If your man exudes a confidence and a certain amount of class that other people pick up on, you should be able to pick up on it too. Because I bet you $5,000 that the woman that served you your meal recognizes that big tip that your man left after that date. And if you don't recognize it, another woman will. Next thing you know, you're gonna see your man out on a date with the waitress that was waiting on your table because she was appreciative of that man and you were not. She saw the potential in that man and you slept on it. Let me see what Al Banks is saying down here. Excuse me, guys. I got to get my glasses. Y'all know I am super blind here. But Al Banks says also dress code is very important. Exactly, Al. And that's the other thing too. Ladies, when you guys are out with these men and you're going on the date, make sure that you pay attention to where he says he's taking you. A lot of you have never been to a really nice, fancy place. Research the restaurant that he's taking you to or the venue that he's taking you to and dress appropriately. And also take stock in what your man is wearing, what type of clothing he has on, what brand of clothing he's wearing. If he's wearing cologne, can you recognize the smell? Do you know the smell of a cheap cologne or an expensive cologne? These are all things that you need to be taking stock in because that's the type of man that you're with. So you're going to have to match his swag. So dress code need to be on point. So I want to say this. If you guys are going on these dates with these men and you see that type of effort and you do not think that guy deserves a second glance, then you do not deserve a good guy. You don't. Now, there were a couple of times, like when I first met my first husband when I was young, my first impression of my husband was not very favorable. He looked like Moses to me, okay? But when I did finally give him a chance, he took me out to a really, really nice 5-star restaurant downtown in Chicago that I had never been to, next to the water tower. And his taste and the way that he dressed outside of the job, he was very, very tailored up. That told me the type of caliber of man that he was. The type of restaurant that he took me to told me what he thought of me and the world that he was introducing me to. So I felt as if he deserved a second look. And upon dating him, I found out he was writing a book. He's very intelligent. He's smart, ambitious. He started his business while we were together within the first 4 years, and he was very successful. So, a lot of times, ladies, you could be missing out on your blessing, sitting up here, dating a guy based off, oh, he didn't make me tingle, you know. Ah, that whole tingly sensation thing is a little overrated. It's overrated. Now, attraction is important. I'm not going to say it's not. It is. But it's not the end all be all. I was not attracted to my husband when I first met him. I became attracted to my husband after I got to know him. And his personality, his confidence, his drive, his ambition, all of that made him extremely fine in my eyes. So you have to give yourself time to get to know a person. And you may find that this person is exactly on the program that you want to be on, but you got to give them a chance. Now, I will tell you this, most of the guys that I was physically attracted to, and I used to like the DMX types. I don't know if you guys saw that movie Belly, DMX on Belly. That was my type, okay? And I began to realize that liking that type put me in a certain, genre of guys that couldn't put me in the world that I wanted to be in. If I wanted to be part of a world of sophistication, leisure, and being taken care of, I had to change how I thought about men. A lot of you ladies, you're going to have to go on these dates and change how you think about men. Now, as for the men, going back to the whole concubine situation, a lot of y'all not I'm gonna have to be honest. Y'all make it hard because y'all are not out here looking for somebody to spend the rest of your life with. You're looking for an easy lay. I was at the car wash the other day, and I ended up having to really curb this guy to the side because he approached me, and it was very, very disrespectful. Now, first of all, he started off respectful. He came up to me and he was like, "Hey, Miss, can I talk to you for a second?" And it was respectful enough. And I said, "Yeah, yeah, sure, you can talk to me." So he got out his car and he came to my car and he said, "You see this dust around your what do you call that? The dust around your rim." He said, "Well, that dust around your rim is coming from, dust coming from your brakes." As he say, either your brakes or your caliber. Well, I know a little bit. I know how to change my brakes. I know how to change my caliber, but he doesn't know this. So he got to, getting his little kit out and he clamped, my rims for me. And I thought that was really nice. So he kind of endeared himself to me. But the thing that he did next turned me completely off. And men, this is how you all turn women off because we were talking about where we came from. And so he went from being nice and respectful to when he found out that I grew up on the south side of Chicago. "Oh, you from the south side? Oh, well, you bad it, woo, woo, woo." Then his whole language changed. He started turning into a 48-year-old thug right before my eyes. And it was just so cringe. I was not talking like that. So why are you now talking to me like this? And so he made lots of assumptions and it turned me completely off. Anything that he did before that had endeared him to me, I was like building that wall fast. When you start talking to a woman, you have to really, really pay attention, guys, to how that woman carries herself, if she's talking street and gutter, what type of clothes she's wearing, yada yada yada. Because what ends up happening is if you start making assumptions Every woman that got kids is not a hood rat. Every woman that has children is not, sitting up here sleeping with everybody. When we get into our age bracket, especially when you're above 30, I would say 35 plus, you're going to run into people that have past. You may run into women that were previously married or widowed. Most black women are either that were previously married. They were either married or widowed, and those children are not a product of Pookie and Ray Ray. So you guys are sitting up here making a lot of assumptions, and you're trying to get at the woman, but you're turning her off. You're turning her off because now you done put her into the "I'm just gonna F you" category. And every woman is not gonna go. Like I didn't go. Soon as he started talking that crap, I started building that wall. That wall just got higher and higher and higher and higher. So guys, you can turn a woman right off. And I see it online too. When the gender wars break out online, it's because men are on here making assumptions, or they're trying to tear the woman down. They're trying to how can I say, break away at her self-esteem and make her feel as if she's only worth that. Like this guy, he's gonna come up to me and say, "Oh yeah, well you from the south side of Chicago, so you got it bad and this, that, and the other. Yeah, where you live at, you got your own place." I'm like, excuse me. He's not as at this point, he's not being nice anymore. Now I could feel that he was sliding over into dangerous territories. And like I said, the more he talked, the more I started building that wall. That wall was going up fast, faster than Trump was building that wall to keep out the immigrants. That wall was going up pretty quick. And so the more he talked, I said to myself, this brother is never, ever, ever, ever going to get these digits. What's up, Eugene? Eugene says, hi, Faith. What's up, Doug? And Nisha by Nature's in the house. I see you guys down there. What's up, Juju? My baby Juju's in the house. Exactly, Doug. He says broke dust. Oh, break dust. No, break dust. I thought he said broke dust. I can't see. Yes, break dust. Brother Love says he never approached women. Why not, Brother Love? Sometimes a closed mouth don't get fed. And maybe, the woman saw you out the corner of her eye, but a lot of times we as women, we're not going to approach guys. We're waiting on you to approach. 9 times out of 10, we're waiting on you all to approach. Now, I'm not going to say that you're not going to be rejected, because some of us are not waiting on you to approach, but you're going to have to learn how to take the rejection in stride. If you guys do not understand how to take rejection, then you're going to continuously not get, how can I say, you're going to be passed up for opportunities. It's just like if there's a job that you want. If you never apply for the job, how do you know that you're not going to get it? Or a lot of times when you go to apply for the job, you'll find out what you need to qualify. But if you never say anything, if you never approach, you're not going to learn anything. Even in the rejection, you can learn something. The same way, whereas if you're in a relationship, people should be learning for the relationships that they're in. And if that relationship, more importantly, if it fails, learn from the failure of that relationship so that you don't make the same mistake in the next relationship. And that's very important too. If you break up with somebody, don't go around to the next woman or the next man bad mouthing this person to that individual. Just because you and that person didn't work out doesn't mean that that person's bad at all. It just means that you two weren't compatible. Not that that person's bad. I really hate people that go around doing that. They break up and then, while they were with the person, oh, they was best thing since sliced bread. But then when they break up, all of a sudden this person is the scum of the earth. I don't do that sort of thing. I don't condone that sort of thing. I think it's trash. And, we need to be a better class of people in society. So, I definitely want, going from 2023 into 2024 and beyond, for people to grow up and learn that, these breakups are part of life. See what Eugene Steele posted down here. Eugene Steele says, I remember when I was in high school and college, I was rejected left and right, and I was upset and depressed. Then after college, I realized that I can attract women. Yeah, you can. Absolutely. When you get rejected left and right, the rejection teaches you what it is that you need to do in order to attract what it is that you want. A lot of times, a woman's rejection may not have anything to do with you, but it has something to do with her personal preferences. And once again, I'm not telling anybody to be something that they're not. What I'm telling you is be the best version of yourself that you can be and learn from it. Learn what it is that the other party is looking for in general and in mass. What's up, melanated vessel? She says, no, thank you is not necessarily a diss. Everyone isn't going to be feeling you, and I can assure you that. Exactly, melanated. Exactly. So if a woman says, hey, no, thank you, I'm not feeling you, like melanated vessel said, that's not necessarily a diss. That has something to do with her personal preferences. It may have absolutely nothing to do with you. You could be a beautiful person, but you're not the person for her. That's what she's saying. You're not my type is not a diss. And I want people to get that through their head. Now, another thing that I want to impart, and I'm not going to hold you guys for too long. We're going to go probably about an hour with this. But if you're on the date and the person says that you're not their type, that's not a diss to you. What that is saying is that this person has a certain thing that they like. Now, you may like, driving a truck and being over the road and you're gone all the time, or you might be in the military and you're on deployment all the time. And so that woman, after getting to know you and getting to know what type of job you do, she knows that she probably couldn't deal with a man that's gone all the time. That has nothing to do with you. That's just her preference. So in that, you're not going to be compatible with her because she's honest with herself and saying that, hey, I'm not going to be able to deal with that. And see, the rejection there isn't about you, it's about her preference. So, I just want you guys to understand that rejection is not always a bad thing. And the same thing with women. If the man rejects you and he stops talking to you, and it's because you didn't put out fast enough, he wants somebody that's, sexually active now, that has nothing to do with you. That's something to do with his preference. So you guys are not going to jail well because you're on this page and he's on this page. So you guys got to understand that rejection is not always a bad thing. The rejection is your protection. I don't know who coined that phrase first, but it is absolutely true. There is protection in the rejection. And the rejection is not always personal. It's not personal. It's just her preference. It's just his preference. So, you guys, you have to, try to not take these things to heart. There's a lot of you that go out here on these dates and you're taking to heart that this person didn't want to be with you. Don't take that to heart. It's not always about you. Now, sometimes I will say that sometimes it is you. Just like with that guy that I met at the car wash, it was definitely him. He was making assumptions about me that were disrespectful. He was making innuendos that I would let him come to my place and do whatever. And it was like within the first 10 minutes of me meeting him. And that was a complete turnoff. And see, if he's this old and he's doing this, he's stuck like this. So my rejection to him did have everything to do with him. And see, if he was a smart person and self-reflective, he would be sitting in his car wondering, well, damn, she shot me down real quick. It seemed like she liked me at first. And then when I got to talking longer, well, what did you say to her? So, a lot of times the rejection is definitely about you and your approach and how you went about doing things. Now, I know some of you guys are stuck on mode one and being honest, and I am right there with you. Be honest so I can reject your behind and leave you in the dust. So you can go and be with a female that would be on that program. But I'm not on that program. Don't take it personal. I just don't get down like that. Let's see what you guys are talking about here. Juju says the person I dated was a reflection of myself. It was time to change. My growth don't attract the same men I used to. Exactly, Juju. It's the person that you attract will be a reflection of yourself and your values, your moral system. So if the person that you're on the date with, if they just look good, but their vibe is completely different than yours, like you're over here, you're in the slow lane, but they're over here in the fast lane. You guys are not going at the same speed, so it's not going to work. He's going to be light years ahead, trying to get in the jaws, get in the panties, get. And you're like, hey, slow down, where my seatbelt at? Oh my goodness, you hit a speed bump. You guys are not going the same speed. And see, when that happens and you're just looking at the person's outward appearance, that person's going to take you on a ride, but it's going to be a bumpy ride. And the crash at the end ain't going to be pretty. I'm just going to put it like that. That crash at the end ain't going to be pretty. So definitely go get with somebody that's on the same wavelength, the same speed as you. Let's see what else she said. Melanated Vessel says a lot of it is chemistry based. You have to go and spend time and see if maybe sparks fly. Exactly. Exactly, Melanated Vessel. If you guys are not compatible, if sparks are not flying, you're not going to know that until the first date. Like a lot of guys in that group, the Kevin Samuels group that I was in, they were making assumptions about the woman, saying that she should have known before she went on the date. She knew she was not interested before she went on a date. And my thing is, the only thing you know about each other prior to a date is the physical. The physical. Now, maybe, just maybe, you may have talked on the telephone. That has happened, where I have met guys, gave them my telephone number. And I like to, prior to going on a date, I like to talk on the telephone to kind of gauge whether or not I want to be alone with this person. But that's just me, because I'm real cautious about, going on dates with people. And if the vibe is off on the phone, I usually don't go on the date. But if the vibe is good on the phone, then that makes me even more look forward to the date. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Brother Love, let me see. Did he say something? Oh, he says it's never happened to me. However, I have seen cats get clowned for approaching certain women. Okay, see, Brother Love, that right there, he says you've seen guys get clowned for approaching certain women. Okay, let's talk about these certain women, Brother Love. What type of women are you talking about? Because see, a lot of guys are intimidated by really, really beautiful women, women that are aesthetically looking good, women that they feel maybe a little bit out of their league, and they are shy to approach those types of women. So are you shy when you get around very, very attractive women, sophisticated women? Are you scared of the hood rat woman because the woman, she's loud but she got the body that you like? Once again, you got to go by the vibe, and if this person seems to be on the same wavelength and going at the same speed that you're going. Now, if she's got a ghetto trash mouth, but she got a badunkadunk back there, and you know you could not take that ghetto trash mouth, and you heard that ghetto trash mouth when you turned the corner, you know good and daggone well that ain't the woman for you. But now, if you just intimidated by a woman because her beauty was so much that it blinded you, and you're thinking, oh, she couldn't possibly be interested in a guy like me. Well, see, that right there, you'll never know unless you try. This woman ain't said nothing. She ain't did nothing to turn you off. You don't know. So why not give that a try? The intimidation or the part within you means that there's something that you know is there that you need to change. And that's the other thing too, that feeling. I want to talk to men about that feeling of intimidation around certain women. Now, there are a lot of you guys that know that you're not financially ready to take on a certain woman because that woman may require you to take her out to a nice, decent restaurant. And you can tell by the way she carries herself that these are the type of men that she entertains. Now, if you know that you're not to that level yet, and that you're not even able to provide that, and you got a real good suspicion that this is what you're up against, then yeah, I would say that you need to go ahead and get yourself together first before you approach that type of woman. But typically, guys, you're not going to know until you approach. And look at it like you're learning something. If you get rejected, learn something about the way you were rejected and possibly why you were rejected, and you work on those things. And if you keep trying and trying, and one day you're not getting as many rejections as you were in the past. And when I say trying, not only do you try to talk to women, but you learn from the rejection and you go back and improve whatever it is that's blocking you. Because see, trying isn't good enough by itself without the actual improvement. It's like some of you will sit up here and you'll run hound a whole bunch of women. You think that volume, hey, I'll just keep going and going and going until somebody says yes. Well, volume just means that you got 1,000 no's and 3 yeses. So if you're doing that much of a volume and that many women are shooting you down, there's something there that you need to work on. Now, if you're doing volume again and you go to 200 women and 175 out of the 200 is saying yes, then that means that you got your shit together. There's something that these women see in you that's valuable because you're getting more yeses than you're getting no's. Sometimes the rejection will tell you if you need to work on something. So don't be afraid to approach. Approach simply, if not for nothing, just to learn what it is that you can, what it is that you got, and what it is that you may need to work on. Let's see what else you guys are saying here. Hold on a second. Brother Love says some women took getting approached as an insult. I've seen that happen to guys when I was growing up. Okay, Brother Love, that's true. And I'm gonna tell you when being approached by a man is an insult. If I'm coming into a room and I'm looking good, I know that I got my hair done, my nails done, my makeup's on point, my outfit is banging. I feel like, oh man, I should be, attracting the creme de la creme. If if a woman has gone out of her way and did all of that, but you just got through rolling out from under a car, you just got through changing oil, you got oil all on your shirt, your hair is all messed up and dirt and rust on your face and in your hands, and you want to approach a woman and she's looking good, but you're looking terrible, yeah, that would be an insult to that woman because now she's thinking that she's being approached by a bum, and how dare you even think that you can step to her. And I know that women think like this because I think like this. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think like this. Or if you're a good looking woman, you got your shit together, you're driving a decent car, you work, and then here comes this guy and he's in a sloppy jalopy, looking like he work at FedEx. That's an insult. So you have to also kind of, read the room. I would have to say, guys, when it comes to approaching women, you're going to have to learn how to read the room. Like I said, the rejection is going to teach you something, definitely. And if anything, if you get rejected, don't just go by the volume system. Because I've heard guys say this, oh, you get rejected, just keep going. No, when you get rejected, and like say for instance, 5 women reject you out of 6, that means that you're being rejected more than you're being accepted. So there's something there that you need to work on. So don't just go by volume, go by, okay, I'm not getting the fish to bite on this hook. There's something that I need to do. Maybe I need to change the bait. Maybe you need to, work on how your presentation, how you look, how you dress as you approach the woman. Maybe you need to work on how you talk, your approach, how you speak to the woman. There's something that you need to work on, and maybe, just maybe, those no's will become yeses. So please, fellas, don't be intimidated to approach. But if you do approach and get rejected, learn from the rejection. There's something that you need to take away from that experience. Eugene Steele says, hold on a second. A lot of guys here. He says, that's just it, Faith. Men nowadays want sex. What happens to getting to know women and communication? I'm looking for a wife. I don't let sex be my main objective when dating. And that's good, Eugene. That is absolutely good. Because I'm telling you, a lot of these guys, they're just basically turning these women right off. A woman is not trying to service you, okay, just because you took her out on a date. We are not your girlfriend. You haven't even made us a girlfriend, let alone a wife. We just talking about a date. What exactly is it that we're getting out of having sex with you besides the food or the meal that you bought? Like, should I think so lowly of myself that this meal was enough for me to just bust it open for you? No. You guys are delusional and you're not living in the real world if you think that that's all it should take. Okay, we have Engaged Nicely says, at the Faith Factor, are you familiar with the current dynamics of dating? There are many women that are trying to use men. So what do you think men should do while these wife these girls? No. Like I said, the dating, goodness, guys, are you guys listening? Dating is the vetting process. Dating is the vetting process. And it goes both ways. It goes for both men and women. If you get the inkling that this woman has gold digger tendencies and she's asking more of you than what she deserves, even before she's gotten to know you, then that's a red flag. You do not have to continue on with this woman. I don't understand what part of that you guys don't understand. It's kind of like if you don't get what you want, you're disappointed. And if she doesn't get what she wants, she's disappointed. Why not you just go your separate ways? You're not going to get any what you want from him, and you're not going to get what you want from her. Go your separate ways. Doug says the irony when I'm the what the irony when I'm the dirtiest from working in the yard or anything physical, that's when women approach me the most. Okay, so Doug obviously looks sexy when he's dirty. What kind of women are approaching you though? Are these respectable looking women? Are they the kind of women that you would wife up, make a girlfriend? You know, that matters too. And who is approaching you? Like I said, when me as a woman, I get offended when a guy that I don't think is on my level approaches me because I'm looking at, okay, what vibe am I getting off that this person thought that he even had a chance? So a lot of times, you know, you might be approached by women that think that you are pookie, you know, or a fixer up. So dude, Juju says I be sweating coming home and scrub smelling like piss in nursing home when people want to talk. Wow. And Melanated Vessel says some men are awkward but don't know it, which is even more problematic because it shows that you're not self aware. Exactly. Exactly. You guys are on a roll with these comments. Let me see here. Just a regular guy. What's up? He says it's been 60 minutes. Time to open the floodgates and panel. Oh my goodness. Y'all are just counting down to opening up the panel, right? Um, I may. Good evening, Tanya Sweat. I don't know if I want to open up the panel and do that whole floodgates thing because I don't know. Some of you, I don't know what you'll say. I might end up being banned, have to kick people out. I don't know. But at any rate, Eugene nicely says, but there are many women like these now. So point is there is a big issue going on so that you can just expect men to be wifing these women and be blaming men for not taking these women serious. Huh. Nobody's scared of what? Okay, Brother Love says, sis, nobody is scared of women. Don't assume that some of us just don't give. We act the way we want to, whether some women like it or not. Some women like me anyway. That's it. Okay, all right. Well, you were saying that sometimes you get, I don't know. Well, you're giving off two different messages here, Brother Love, because at first you said that you were intimidated to talk, and so now you're saying nobody is scared of women. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it to me. Doug says it varies all sorts of types of women. I've been told I smell manly. I guess it's the pheromones. Yeah, pheromones has a lot to do with it. But guys, look, it's been an hour. And I do have somewhere to go. I actually am dressed and ready to go somewhere tonight. I'm getting ready to have a good time on a date. Hopefully, you know, it's going to be a nice evening. But I want you guys to let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video, share the video. And this is Faith. You've been watching The Faith Factor. I love each and every one of you. And I am out. Smooches.